And investigative reporter Ben Bradley is joining us with more on what he uncovered. Ben?
Ray and Lourdes, we found too many warning signs to count. His posts contain violence and vengeance, along with the logo of a far-right overseas group. We share these images not to glorify the suspect, but to show you what police have uncovered that's informing their investigation. Bobby Crimo was a prolific poster online where he apparently went by the name Awake the Rapper. His videos foretell his alleged violent acts. In one, he appears to dramatize his school shooting.
I know what I have to do. I know what's in it, not only for me, but for everyone else. Where am I going? I don't know. I don't care. There is no past or future, just the now.
In another video, Crimo appears to animate his own demise in a confrontation with police. All of this informing the operation to arrest him. Police chasing leads across the northern suburbs, with Skycam 9 spotting this heavily armed armada of sheriff's deputies at Lutheran General Hospital earlier.
This is a terribly difficult day and the bloodiest that we've experienced in Highland Park.
Highland Park's Mayor Nancy Rodering also confirming to WGN Investigates she has a connection to the suspect. She said his father unsuccessfully ran against her for mayor in 2019. Investigators have only just begun to piece together the motive and method of this murderous rampage. Police say the 22-year-old suspect was known to law enforcement, but one question that will be asked in the days to come: were they aware of the violent videos that have been online for many months? Sources say there were concerns about Bobby Crimo's mental health going back to at least middle school, where he was said to have struggled and was described as a reclusive student. I'm told when the district offered him resources and help, it was declined, and his family opted to homeschool him instead. Lourdes and Ray, a lot of warning signs, and it's obviously easy to look back in hindsight, but these social media pages, these websites that he uploaded these to, had a lot of views. So the question is going to be, did anyone inform law enforcement, and if so, what was done about it?
Okay, in the meantime, he used a weapon to carry out this attack. Do we know much more about how he got it, and what type of weapon are we talking about?
Yeah, police have only described it as a high-powered rifle. It was left behind at the parade grounds there. The ATF is involved in tracing it. That can be kind of a laborious task. They'll go back, they'll find out the chain of ownership and how it got into his hands, and certainly whether or not he was legally allowed to own it.
We'll be looking for those answers. Ben, thank you.
My girls were in the parade and up here, so ran up the hill to find them.
And all of a sudden it went boom, 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 boom.
As when I grabbed my son, put him in a dumpster, a garbage dumpster, and I asked some people to stay there with him.
I saw where he was. I saw his eyes.
There are no words for the kind of evil that shows up at a public celebration of freedom, hides on a roof, and shoots innocent people with an assault rifle.
Our hearts are broken for the victims and their families. As we always do, we support each other. We are Highland Park Strong.
It has been a tough day, hours after gunshots were fired into a July 4th parade in Highland Park. The suspected shooter has been captured. We have team coverage tonight. Good evening. I'm Lourdes Duarte.
And I'm Ray Cortopassi.
Let's go to the latest on this shooting. 6 people were killed, more than 24 sent to hospitals as shots were fired into the crowd at today's parade.
Lots more on the chaos on the street in just a moment, but first we want to go to Dana Rebick at the Highland Park Police Department with the very latest on the arrest tonight. Dana.
Well, this arrest happened around 6:30 tonight. We are here in front of the Highland Park Police Department. We do not know yet if this person of interest has been transported here, but this is where we were told he would be taken after he was arrested. And across the street from us here, you can see there's a crowd of people, some media set up, but also just residents here who wanted to come out tonight and watch this vehicle as it pulls in with Robert Crimo III inside of it. Now, once he is inside, we are assuming assuming he will be questioned by police. Here is a photo we can show you that was sent to us from a source where you can see Robert Crimo III on the ground while being handcuffed earlier tonight. It does appear that he changed clothes from earlier today when witnesses described him as wearing a white or blue shirt. In that photo, you can see him wearing what appears to be all black and a red shirt underneath. Now, as far as this arrest, it happened about 8 hours after the shooting. Crimo had not traveled very far from that area. We know he lived just north of Highland Park. The incident commander saying that this was a diligent North Chicago police officer who spotted the silver Honda Fit that had been described earlier today as the vehicle belonging to this person of interest at US 41 and Buckley Road. Now, that officer did try to initiate a traffic stop to pull him over, and we're told a chase ensued, but then that Crimo did eventually come to a stop and was arrested without incident. That happened at US 41 and Westley Road in Lake Forest. That's about 5 miles northwest of downtown Highland Park.
Person of interest is now being taken to the Highland Park Police Department, where we're going to begin the next phase of the investigation and speak with this person to make sure or see if in fact he is connected to this incident.
Now, police say, though, that naming a person of interest does not come lightly, that a significant amount of investigative work has happened today, including processing an enormous amount of digital evidence. Detectives say, though, they do need to positively connect Crimo to this shooting. They say charges are not yet approved at this hour, and it is still not clear exactly how they honed in on Crimo, whether it was through the purchase of a firearm or otherwise. That is all information that we are hoping to learn in the coming days. We will be here again live at 10, and we'll let you know if we do see that police vehicle pull in here with him inside. For now, live in Highland Park, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
Much more to come. Thank you so much, Dana. And we want to take you to some live pictures now. This started as a typical summer day, a community gathering for the 4th of July parade, but it quickly turned into chaos. Skycam 9 over the scene in Highland Park right now as the sun sets. Still very active scene out there today. And we want to go now to WGN's Christine Flores live near today's parade route. They're in Highland Park with the very latest. We see the crime tape still behind you. What is the latest, Christine?
Yeah, good evening, Ray and Lourdes. Like you mentioned, it's a very somber-like feeling that still remains here at the scene. We're at Central and Green Bay. The scene behind us remains untouched. Many of the items that were left behind also untouched.
Saw things like a true war zone that you never think you'll see in your lifetime, let alone, at your home. And it was just a true disaster.
Just like other people who were here today, Zoe came out with her father to enjoy the 4th of July parade. By 10:10 this morning, that changed when shots rang out near Central Avenue and 2nd Street. Officials say it appears the shooter was firing from a roof. A high-powered rifle was later recovered from the scene. 5 adults were pronounced dead at the scene, and another person whose age was not given died at the hospital. Zoe Pawalczyk, who was in the crowd, recalls the innocence of 2 children as she helped keep them safe in the middle of the chaos.
This man had put his 2 sons in the empty dumpster, and that was brilliant, to make them safe. And they had a dog with them, and he had to go find his other son. And he asked me, he's like, can you please watch my kids? I have to go find someone else out there. And it was, of course. And I just can't imagine having a child there. And so I stayed with the kids, and we hung out and played games. And I told them, I'm like, yeah, they're like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, oh, we're playing hide and go seek. We're just, just hang out with the doggy. You want to hang out with the doggy? This is like the fireworks just went boom. And so we're all just we're just playing a game. They were like, okay.
There were several law enforcement agencies that were a part of this response. And even till this moment, we've seen several people stopping by, many of whom that we've spoken to and kind of just chatted up a little bit, say that they're in disbelief that something like this would happen so tragically in their area.